You ever heard of the Musketeers? Three Musketeers? Ever heard
I mean, that's a classic story. Wasn't it Dumas?
See,
Who wrote that story?
you may have thought I was talking about those Musketeers, but in fact, I'm actually talking about the Elon Musketeers.
Yeah, Alexandre Dumas.
It looks
Elon
like
Musk.
through a series of tweets, Elon Musk has invited Kanye West to join his Musketeers.
Fusion, huh?
This
You
comes
saw that.
after some news of Kanye West, and we mentioned recently that he's been spending some time with Candace Owens. Do your research, find the correlation that I'm setting up for you. Kanye West is now said to be striking a deal with the owners of the social media app Parler in order to become the first, I believe, major influencer to own, or black major influencer to own, a social media network. Reactions, thoughts? You just gonna sit in silence?
Candace is hitting a lick on Kanye. Kanye's in a coon stupor. And Candace, who's a clear-minded coon who's getting money, is just like, let me take advantage of, because that's all she does. She robs white conservatives by just being like, blacks are inferior. And whatever you want to hear, right-wingers and white supremacists, I'll say it. Just pay me.
Scamming.
So she's scamming. She's a grifter. So she's already hitting licks. So she sees this confused Sambo Kanye and it's just like, oh, buy Parler. I mean, free speech. And you can go on there and talk as much as you want. They won't censor you, Kanye. I mean, my husband owns it, but that's not important. Just buy it. They about to come up.
And that's the needle in the haystack is right there. I don't know if people caught that. Say that one more time.
I mean, my husband owns it, but that doesn't matter. So it's all about free speech. And Elon, Elon will support you. I don't know if she said that, the last part. But
I don't know if she knows Elon either.
and Kanye, Sambo Ye, was just like, oh, yeah, my own social media platform. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
You sound like the Clumps from the Nutty Professor.
Mm-hmm. So that's all I got to say about it. Candace is a calculating snake. She's a coon. She'll throw anybody under the bus. When the Sambo money runs out, I promise you she's going to be on this Claude Anderson tip. I swear to God. I promise you now. She will write a tell-all book. She's going to be releasing footage. She's going to be releasing all kinds of secret recordings and all kinds of shit. Might even just make a tell-all documentary just exposing all the right-wing racists once the money dries up.
What's she going to be saying on that?
Once she gets her nigga wake-up call, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, now I'm going to pander to the pro-blacks and write a tell-all book. See if I can get back in the cookout.
Is she going to be asking for forgiveness, or like how is she going to get invited back?
I think she. No one's going to. Well, black folks are too forgiving, so there's going to be a couple Sambos who think they're pro-blacks who are going to accept her back into the fold after years of doing.
Why would they do that?
Damage.
Why would they do that? Hasn't everybody seen exactly who Candace Owens is? Truly.
Yeah, but black folks are too forgiving. I swear, if she writes a decent tell-all book exposing getting in that ass, dudes are gonna be like, oh, she woke up. She finally came to her senses. We need to support our sister. It's gonna be a whole thing. And she just gonna be standing there like, stupid niggas. Remember, she felt the same way about the white conservatives though. She's just getting money. She has no allegiances, no ties. She's still a coon because she's a sellout. She just babbles to whatever the highest bidder wants her to speak. So when that money dries up, she gonna say whatever she needs to do to get stupid coon Democrat voting coons. Remember, I'm not a Republican. I don't. Both sides don't represent me. Don't like me. Just a preface into the audience. But she gonna pander to the Democrat blacks, who just the civil rights millennial or boomer blacks.
Gen X. It would be the Gen X.
Who've been voting Democrats since they could vote blindly. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, we gotta forgive our sister. Jesus said we gotta forgive our sister. And I'm just looking at them like, see that we worry about Candace, but we gotta worry about them too. These forgive everybody while they practice group economics and wipe you out.
Some of y'all gonna have to get put to sleep
for good. And it's not just So I don't want to get too deep into that, but that's all I gotta say about that.
I don't know who's accepting that sister, bro. Bless her heart, bro. Bless her heart. I
Other
don't know who's
groups,
accepting
other
her.
groups deal with their coons and traitors. We the only people who allow our coons and traitors to become Kanye's and Candace's and Larry Elders and think what's another famous Sambo who got money.
Man, that's the thing though.
We allow that. Other groups will absolutely dust off their traitors. We're the only group that allows our traitors with so much autonomy that they can become rich and famous.
That's the thing, though. I think that we don't realize that we have more numbers than we actually think we have, right? I think the reason why we're so forgiving, like you say, I think that is fact. But I think the reason why that is because as a community, there's not too many of us that make it to that high echelon of success. To
Well, a
where
lot of it is because
it's
we
there
don't-
for everybody to see. There's not too many of us that make it to that level. And the ones that do make it, I think that we really want to hold on to them and put them on a pedestal to say, hey, this is our examples that, hey, this can happen. We can make this happen.
The problem is we don't want to build a level. The crazy thing is we have
No standard is
culture
what you're
that we
saying.
allow everyone else to own. That's the level right there. We don't practice. All these other groups have businesses, and it's an unspoken rule. You don't hire outside of the, even though that's illegal, but it's an unspoken rule. You don't hire outside the community. We're the only group, even though the Africans do this. We're the only group, but it's different because we've been in it. We had to go through slavery where our minds were broken, and then anytime we built a level, it was taken from us. So a lot of us are defeated and broken. I understand that, but now it's a new day. We got to try it again. We got thieves. They start trying to start shit. Get on Facebook and start exposing that ass.
Cell phone. Take out
You
that
get what
cell
I'm saying?
phone.
So that's what I'm saying. It's time for a new gen, our gen and our children's gen, to build the level. Because there's no more time. Every other group practices this. We can do it too. We can do it now. So we don't need. You're talking about. Oh well, only a couple of us make it. Well, we would all make it if we focus on ownership. We focus on group economics. We focus on the basics, like where are we going to trading. Grocery stores, getting grocery stores in community. There's no reason why shouldn't be a black community where everything I need done, I can get in the black community. Dentists, doctors, which there are black dentists and black doctors, but we need private practices for these kind of things. I should be able to go to any city and go to FBA town, and I can spend all my time there and don't ever have to leave. My dollar has circulated FBA town and just continues to circulate FBA town for weeks, months, years.
Then isn't Kanye West doing his part then? If you say that you want to have an FBA town, right, and you want to use these.
Every major
right?
city.
You want to use the cell phones, right? Well, Kanye West going and buying up Parler and saying, hey, let me get the infrastructure, right? The press conference report that they put out today said that Parler is going to continue to do the IT and maintain that for him. And they said that they were also going to give him, they're just going to give him all the services and resources necessary in order for him to maintain Parler, maintain it being a functioning network, a functioning app, a functioning service, right? So isn't this what we want? Don't we want Kanye West, a black man who is the first billionaire, not the first, but who is, according to Kanye West, the richest black man in history, American black man in history, according to Kanye West? Don't we want him?
I think that's true, but
don't we want him to say, hey, let me put myself out there to market first and let me get us a social media network? We always talk about how we run social network. Oh, Black Twitter runs Twitter. Without Black Twitter, there would be no Twitter, right? We always talk about all this shit, right?
His allegiance, he panders to the right wing too much. Parler is, to me, it's just gonna. I don't know what it is now. Is it already? Because it's associated with Candace, so it's gonna be all types of. Look at the crime steps and N-words, and they can post all these memes where they make our lips and noses really exaggerated to dehumanize us. I've seen all the right wing bullshit.
They're calling it conservative and right wing. Yeah,
nobody's gonna use that bullshit. This thing, just because Kanye owns it, this is a problem. There are too many Negropeans out here. That's the problem. There are too many Negropeans out here. Kanye's a Negropean. Kanye owning all this stuff doesn't tangibly do anything for my community. It doesn't do anything. And all these people supporting him, and he's all about himself. He will work whoever he will sell out, he will say whatever, he will work. He's like Candace in a lot of ways. He will do whatever it takes to enrich Kanye, and that's it. He's a narcissist. That means nothing to me. We look up to these celebrities who their money is beholden to powers even higher than them. They got put on because of somebody else's bag. Whether it doesn't matter that they built their bag on our slavery and our death and robbing Africa. You're still building your wealth off somebody else's bag. They can cut you off at any moment. They can cancel you.
See, let me tell you why my mind works different. Let me tell you why my mind works different. Because when I see Kanye West buys a social media company as the headline of a story, I put all of that past stuff, and you can say it's cooning, you can say it's too forgiving. When I see that, my mind instantly goes to, all right, I could check that off the list. Check. That's one box that we could check off the list. Social media network. That's where my mind goes to. The reason why, it doesn't even need to be said. I feel like I need to speak in code on this one. Does it need to be said?
Go ahead.
Actually, that's not rhetorical. I mean, we need to have ownership. That's what we talk about. We always talk about, and we talk about Claude Anderson, Dr. Claude Anderson. We talk about powernomics. And we talk about how we need to own the municipalities and how we need to own the institutions.
Listen, I have
social media is a huge institution that's going to be a permanence cemented. It's going to be cemented. It's here for the future. It'd be
different if Kanye bought something or owned something and he wasn't a coon. I'm not excited for that. It doesn't seem like Kanye genuinely gives a fuck about anybody.
You don't believe his intention could possibly be for the well-being of his community?
No. And listen, I have more respect if Kanye did that, wasn't a coon, and he was talking about, let's start building towns. He moved somewhere outside of a major city with a lot of land. It was like, all right, let's get a town charter. We're going to call it Kanye'sville because he's a narcissist. But let's say he wasn't like a coon. He was still a narcissist, but he wasn't a coon. Kanye'sville, and he's talking about getting town charters, and he's working with black grocery store chains. They're like really small black grocery store chains. Say, hey, I want a location out here for this, and we're going to be trading with Africa for our produce, and I want schools. Let's say he opened his Kanye school in Kanye'sville, right? And he's opening schools. It's a big town. It grows into a big town. He got one or two schools all across the town. You know what I mean? And we're collecting local taxes, and it's going back into the community and infrastructure. If he was talking about that, that'd be different. But this just seems like I'm enriching Kanye. Pay me. I'm just gonna pander to this and pander to that and come Parler while my bank account just rolls up from ad revenue. That don't seem.
So you think there's no way, you don't foresee any way in the future that Kanye West is gonna get any sort of support, people flocking to this app, nothing from that side of that narrative that I'm trying to put out there, of this being the first black-owned social media network that could possibly mean something, possibly be something?
I don't like that whole, like, we get caught up on that whole first black this, first black that. First off, it's disgusting that we even have to do this because we've been so locked out of things, right? But The second thing is, first black this, first black that. These are people who are allowed to create the illusion of progress.
It's an irrelevant point.
They're figureheads with no
Put
power.
That to the side.
No, I understand. I don't. It doesn't impress me because it's Kanye. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm gonna go on Parler and they're gonna be making George Floyd jokes and calling people niggers and all kinds of shit. I do not want to be on there. That means nothing to me that he's buying a right-wing site for right-wingers in the name of quote-unquote free speech. Keep that shit on 4chan.